Good morning, everybody. I have nothing on my screen right now, but this is Mr. Folly. Good. And I will pause now and ready to roll. So it's very quick. All right, I'm not watching, so Taylor could be over there playing World of Warcraft. 2 moles of bromine are placed in a 2-liter flask at 1,756 K, which is of sufficient energy to split apart some of the molecules. So hearing that makes me think I should be able to write a reaction from this. So Br2 is going to be heated, so it will split up some of the molecules. That would give me either Br plus Br or 2Br. If Kc is 4 times 10 to the negative fourth at that temperature, again, a lot of times we're thrown with these temperature things, and it just doesn't matter. You have to know that it's the same temperature. What are the equilibrium concentrations of bromine molecules and atoms? Now notice I'm given 2 moles of bromine in a 2-liter flask. Do I put 2 moles in there? No. Whenever we do these ice diagram things, they must be done in molarity or pressure. And since bromine's not a gas, it's not going to be pressure. So 2 moles over 2 liters, get out your calculators, that's 1 molar. Okay, so initially you have 1 and you have nothing. Change is going to be minus x plus 2x. And again, the 1 is because the coefficient is 1, and the 2 is because the coefficient is 2. At equilibrium, I have 1 minus x, and at equilibrium, I have 2x. If I write my Kc expression, Kc equals 4e negative 4. I don't know why I wrote that down. But Kc equals Br squared over Br2. All right. So actually, these are gases, but that doesn't really matter, especially at 1756. How I didn't realize that's a gas is kind of shameful because that's very, 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 very hot. So that's why we can do concentrations, because bromine's a liquid. So looking at this, I can now substitute in 4e negative 4 equals bromine, which is just regular Br. So is that 2x squared? You're a sucker if you think it is, and a lot of us do that. Even though we know it's not, we do this. It's 2x quantity squared, which I don't even want to write that. I want to write 4x squared over 1 minus x. Now we're going to do our first solver thing. So make sure you have your calculator ready. And remember, when we use our solver, we have to have it written in the x equals 0 format. So what we're going to do is, depending on how you want to use your parenthesis things, I'm going to do negative 4e negative 4. So I just moved this to the other side and made it negative. Plus, I am a parentheses scaredy cat. So 4x squared, parentheses 1 minus x, parentheses, parentheses, I over parentheses, and that equals 0. So I'm getting out my calculator, turning it on. You want to use the solver thing on there. So you hit math, and then I just hit 0, and that goes right to the solver. Whoops. Like I said, divided by 1 minus x on the bottom. Well done. So I get out my handy-dandy calculator, which should say EQN colon 0 equals. And that's what the calculator says. Maybe you've got some junk in there, maybe you don't. But you want to clear that out and type in. Okay, again, to get there, you hit the math button, which is in the top left corner land. So the top left corner is second. Below that is a green alpha. Below that is math. Okay. And then it has a bunch of choices, and you can either scroll to where it says solver or just hit 0. So then you see EQN equals nothing. And what I'm going to do is put in exactly what I just said right here, only corrected now. So negative 4e negative 4, so I guess I have to do this anyway. Negative 4e negative 4 plus quantity 4x squared. The x button, by the way, is next to the alpha button. It says x comma t comma theta comma n. Just do that. It'll show a little x. Divided by, of course, quantity 1 minus x quantity. Oh, I forgot one of my quantities. I'm going to go back and fix it. Oh, no, I didn't. 1 minus x quantity. Enter. And then it says, once you do that, it says x equals, and yours probably says 0. you want to put in a decent guess for this, okay? Now, your decent guess is going to be, because you're starting with 1 molar and you're going to subtract something, your guess has to be between 0 and 1. If you pick any number between 0 and 1, you should be fine. Now, your K is very small. 4e negative 4 is 0.0004. So that's very small. So pick something on the small side. So I'm going to pick 0.01. Okay? My bound says, I don't even know what my bound says, but whatever that is, I'm now going to guess. And what happens here is the calculator is going to start at 0.01 and keep guessing until it gets the right answer. Okay? Kind of a dumb way to do it, but better than having us do it ourselves. So to make it guess, I want it to solve. So in green, there's an alpha button. And if you hit enter in white, it will do it for you. Alpha, enter. And mine says quit. Go to error syntax. Oh, I put a negative x instead of a minus x. Alpha. Oops, I didn't want to alpha it. So now I'm going to try alpha enter again. And my x value changed. Those dirty dogs, they changed my x value to 0.00995012499 ... That's the answer. Woohoo! The reason why it's the answer, and of course I would round it to, in this case, 2 sig figs. So, well, actually I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put 0.00995 because I love 3 sig figs. That is what x equals. Okay? And it asks, what are the equilibrium concentration of the bromine molecules and atoms? So the Br atoms equals 2x, which equals 2 times 0.00995. So now I've got to get into regular calculator mode again. So quit. 0.00995 times 2 is 0.0199 is my concentration, so it's molar. My Br2 equals 1 minus x, 0.00995, and I get 0.990 molar. Okay. I love my solver. It's my friend. Okay, so let's do another one. So the next question is calculate the hydroxide ion concentration at equilibrium of a solution that is initially 0.02 molar nicotine. By the way, we talk about how some things are bad for you. Nicotine creates bases, which means hydroxides, which means it's very basic, which causes problems for different things. Acids cause your teeth to decay. Bases don't cause your teeth to decay. It would actually kind of increase your enamel, but of course nicotine makes you think of smoking, so you increase yellowish, disgusting enamel. So welcome to the world of the British people. Initially it's 0.02. I'm still going to write my ice here. So 0.02. So that means when I do my guess should be less than 0.02. And then, whoops, I put that in the wrong spot. So this is 0.02. What am I going to put down for water? What's the concentration of water? Psh, who cares? Water's a liquid. Its concentration will never change. 0, 0. Minus x plus x. And notice how I totally cheated and made nicotine nic because its formula is a monstrosity. 0.02 minus x, x, 2x. So now I'm going to write my K value. The reason why I always write my K with the symbols first is because AP usually asks that. So part A would be write the equilibrium expression. So Kc is going to be nic H2 plus 2 times hydroxide ion squared over nic. So then it tells me it's 7.7 E negative 17. Again, because K is so small, that means my guess could be even smaller. So my value for nic H plus 2 is x. 2x, I'm never going to write 2x squared. I'm always going to write 4x squared because even the best of us are going to make that mistake. So I do that as quickly as possible. And nicotine is 0.02 minus x. Solving for 0, I can have this, I suppose 0 equals negative 7.7 E negative 17. plus quantity x. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make that 5x cubed. I don't think, not 5x cubed, 4x cubed, because that math is so simple that I almost messed it up. Divided by quantity 0.02 minus x quantity. And that should work. So I'm going to get out my little calculator again. Again, hit the math button. And 0 takes me right to my beloved solver. I actually had to move up a notch so I can get the EQN 0 equals. Clear what's on there. Negative 7.17 E, whoops, and I did it wrong. 7.17 E negative 17 plus quantity 4x. I wish I knew where the cube button was, but I got to do it old school. Divided by quantity 0.02 minus x quantity. And I don't doubt that I probably over quantity things, but I don't care. My bound just is 0.00995, which is my answer from last time. I'm just going to go with it. I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to hit alpha enter. I'm going to hit alpha enter. I'm going to hit alpha enter. And mine doesn't work. Alpha enter. Oh, now it's going. And I got 7, which is a stupid answer. I think we'll all agree with that. So what I'm going to do is change my bound. My bound says negative 1E99. Is there ever a time when we'll have a negative concentration? No. So I'm going to change my bound to 0 and start deleting. Delete. Leave my comma there. Go back up, put my guess in of 0.0001, alpha enter, and I get 7. Maybe there's more than one answer. So obviously it's not 7, so I'm going to change my upper bound to 6. Delete. Oops. Okay. I'm going to try again. Alpha, enter. Oh, what happened here? Alpha, enter. And I get nothing. I get 7 again, I think.